Hi everyone, it's Bruceness here. I'm happy to announce the official commencement of our October 20th anniversary, 1 year anniversary for Imperium Romanum. I've noticed an impressive amount of excitement for this special occasion. I'm very happy to see that, and it dawns on me now how incredibly powerful that was as someone who's worked to develop this for so long. It feels like just yesterday that we began the server Hellenistic Hospitality, a very small book club, effectively, of a few people from various Roman groups in a sign of inter-organizational solidarity to achieve something more serious, and really to develop Roman ethno-religious identity in the modern day in a reconstructionist setting further. And it's blossomed in a way that is better than anything I could have hoped for. I'm sure it's certainly far more than any of the other senators could have anticipated either. And I'm incredibly grateful for that, not only to, of course, to the Dei, to the gods, but also to you and to your contributions, your dedication, your hard work, and your incredible support, the outreach, the gratitude, and the ongoing communication is something that really, in the hardest of times with management, gets myself and gets the other curule magistrates through this process. So I'm incredibly proud of that, and I'm very proud of all of you. It amazes me even now that what seemed so recent was almost 3 years ago, and we've had this organization, this community, for an entire year. So I really want this first anniversary to be a really special occasion. Because of that, I'm happy to announce that this official ceremony, or this official celebration, will go on for 3 days, for today and for 2 days up until Sunday, so up through the 22nd, really to give us all the time that we have to socialize, both in voice chat and in other gatherings, to compete and to celebrate in that fashion with Kirtamana, various Jeopardy-style competitions of that sort, in order to really put this sort of important event, this important groundwork event, on the map. I'm also happy to make a number of announcements on the goings-on of the Imperium, the state of the Imperium itself. Firstly, I'm incredibly pleased to announce that we are continuing to develop and vitalize our Camillus program, for which we have 2 new students, Titus Silvius Lupus and L. Delius Liberalis. Both have done exceptional work, and I'm exceptionally proud of the development that I've seen from them. They will make fine sacerdotes in due time, very soon. They're doing incredibly well, and I'm very happy to see that. The Senate itself is not only expected to grow as the organization grows, but we'll also be enacting new policies, a general customs policy that I'm writing myself and have been for a number of months. Things done in the nature of governance is effectively what it will translate to in English, and it will detail general customs for how we'll address magistrates, how magistrates will address one another, clothes, equipment, and various customs revolving that, procedures, all the sort of things that really made ancient Rome what it was. Will have an identity of that will fit our most ancient Romulan origins all the way to the end of the Byzantine or Romaic period, which is something that I really put my heart and soul into, and I think it will come out very well, so I hope you all get to see that. I'm also happy to announce that we're continuing our process of incorporation. We'll have our own official 501c3 arm of the organization, an official nonprofits division that will be designed specifically as an extension of of the community itself, under the community's guidance, not the other way around. Something that's really new in these kinds of circles, and is really something distinct that I think is going to be very helpful for us. I'm also very, very pleased to announce some more sudden developments, some very recent ones, which I think are really putting us forward. One being the Solidus. The Solidus was a project that we had initially designed for the Greater Opidum project. It was the idea of an internalized currency specifically for Imperium Romanum, almost in a crypto fashion, that would work as a internal line of credit for people to buy and sell various crafts and goods and artwork with a very specific classical Greco-Roman base from the website, from one another. It gives our various content creators, specifically in the arts, to do something with their talents in an Imperium Romanum fashion that not only supports us, but also supports them. And that's something that we've been working on for quite some time, and it's close to being done. It should be officially coming out in our second year, as exciting as that is to say that we're entering our second year of Imperium Romanum. I also wanted to bring up the announcement of a new development in the CDR beyond the various religious increases in terms of priesthoods, of the traditional classical Roman priesthoods. We've developed a reconstruction of Julian's hieros program, his initiative to have an equivalent to the Christian bishops who would be priests of localities and intermediary managers between a sacerdos and the Pontifex Maximus himself, to give an extra oomph to our developments regionally and to build community for Roman pagans throughout the world, but also for internal management to help us keep track of the goings-on, to keep things moving forward, to keep things regular and active. I'm very proud to announce that we have Hieri, which have been homologated after they left Byzantium Novum, another organization, and all of which have done very well. They've acclimated to Imperium Romanum well, and I'm glad that you gave them all a warm welcome. They've done great service to us, and I hope that they do so in the future. Regarding the Cultus Deorum Romanorum, I'm also happy to announce a very, very new development that is interesting and in some ways entirely unique to Imperium Romanum and what we do. It's something I discussed with the Senate briefly. I spoke to a number of our hieros, our hieri, on it, and that was the development of the cult of Andinus, or Andinus in the English. Andinus is a Greco-Dardanian deity. He's a deity of manhood, masculinity, protection of the home and the family, similar to Vesta, in a more warrior-like role. He's also a river deity in the originally Hellenistic Greek-controlled province of Dardania. That's where the deity first shows up. Little is known about this deity in the archaeological record, and will largely serve as a stand-in for temples to unknown gods, such as what was seen in Athens, but will also have some influences from the Paleo-Balkan record. In a similar fashion to what Augustus did with the Apollo cult and introducing it to Rome, I'm happy to announce, as our acting head of Religio and State, that we will be introducing this cult into the greater Roman pantheon, because it was worshipped during that time without any serious recognition. It was largely ambivalent and little is known, but it's going to be something that will help us to set ourselves apart. But more importantly than that, because of its Greco-Dardanian roots, there is some influence and there is some hypothesis that there is a connection between Andinus and Dardanus, the founder of Dardania, which is the kingdom and dynasty from which Aeneas claims origin, and by extension from which we claim origin through Aeneas. Whether this is literal truth, which is likely not, however, that remains to be seen. We hope instead for development of its mythological truth, of its power in a narrative significance. Andinus, in this fashion, as tied to Dardanus, is not only a means of looking back, but a means of looking ahead just as Aeneas looked back upon a burning Troy and he instead looked on to Lavinium and then later to Rome. We look to our past and to the historical past of ancient and medieval Rome, and we set ourselves here for the future. I think it's a beautifully fitting development for our first anniversary of the organization as a means of developing ourselves and our identity from the past and then looking ahead and continuing our growth and continuing our increasing and wider improvements. It's something very powerful and very beautiful. I hope you all feel the same way. I'm officially setting that feast, that first feast, which will be celebrated annually, to October 24th, listed as a revival or restoration-based feast. So listed not as an ancient one, but as one that we take great value in nonetheless as modern pagans of the Roman tradition. I thank you all for your incredible support, not only on this day, but on all of the others in the past year and in the years to come. I'm incredibly proud of what we've come to. The fact that I get to sit before you all and make this speech is evidence enough of that, of how incredibly important your support has been. And I hope that you all enjoy this ceremony and this celebration as much as I will. Gratias tibiago, valete amici.